my name is Vitaly Grebeshkin. I'm a co-founder of Retouch for Me, and today we will be retouching your images. So here is the first one. So what we can do here, as you probably know, you can run in Photoshop from the filter menu, retouch for me, and so on. But I think that the best way to use our plugins is to install retouch for me Photoshop panel and use it for retouching. Because if you need to run different plugins in a row, you have to run each plugin one by one, and you have to create separate layers for every plugin. But when but if you're using the Retouch for Me Photoshop panel, you can just need to choose the plugins that you want to apply to the specific image and then click Retouch button. So using Retouch for Me Photoshop panel, you can use your on-device plugin or you can use your cloud retouch. So the panel allows you to pay not for the software, but pay pure retouching. And if you decide to pay pure retouching and use 11 tools at once, so you can use cloud retouching. And you can buy subscription or buy cloud retouching packs. In on-device option, you need to buy plugins one by one and run them in Photoshop or maybe separately if you don't have a Photoshop, because each plugin that you purchased can be run as a standalone app. So if you're using Photoshop, it is better to install Retouch Me Photoshop panel. As I said before, it is free, but you have to buy plugins there. So here you can just check the plugins that you need to run or apply to the specific image. And here I checked Heal plugin. It fixes some small skin imperfections. Dodge and Burn plugin. It smooths out the skin. Ported volumes enhance visual volume. And Skin Mask allows you to group all your skin layers in one layer. So maybe here I just need to run the fabric also, so I can run it on a maybe like this. So I just choose the original layer and click this small play button next to the plugin's name. So this is how it works if you need to run the plugins one by one. So let's open the retouched folder and let's look inside. So the first plugin is the fabric plugin. So if you need to smooth out the clothes on your images, so it is a really nice plugin to do this. So as you may see, you need to fix some folds and wrinkles on the clothes, but in this case, you need to leave like the main folds. So in this case, the plugin work with the small, some imperfections on the clothes and leave the big wrinkles and folds. So if you need to change something, it is great that every Retouch for Me plugin creates separate layers. So actually you can get the all retouching results as separate layers in Photoshop. So if you need to change something, you can just change it on the specific layer, or maybe just decrease the opacity of the layer like this. So let's move on to the skin folder. So the Heal plugin fixes some small imperfections on the skin. Dodge and Burn plugin smooths out the skin on the face. So Skin Tone plugin evens out the skin tone all over the face. Imported volumes enhance visual volume. So if you need to just increase the plugin's effect, you can just double the layer. For example, if I click Command J or Control J on the keyboard, you can double the ported volumes layer. Or maybe I can just decrease the opacity to 100% like this. So here is the before and here is after. So using the panel, you don't need to run the plugins one by one, and you get the retouching results as layers. So if you need to If you don't need layers, you can just turn off this option here in the panel. Also, the panel allows you to run batch processing using your plugins that are installed on your computer and present in the panel. So what else we can do here? So here we also can work with the face. For example, we can make some face lifting. So I merged all layers together by pressing Option Command Shift E or Alt Control Shift E if you are a PC user. So I created separate layer out of merged all layers beneath it. And I run Retouch Me Face Make. So in Retouch Me Face Make, you can just drag some sliders, and in case of the female portrait, you can just increase feminine lifting like this, so before and after. So here is the lifting for the face overall. You can adjust hair volume, you can set the lips eyes effect like this, or some change the lips effect and the nose. So here is the before image and here is after. Before, after. So if you think this is too much for you, you can just decrease the lifting. So you can actually adjust everything here, and if you need to add some makeup to this image, you can just go to the makeup section of the plugin, and here I added some sparkling steel to the eyes like this. So this is how it works actually. Maybe let's leave it like this. So I click apply here and I get the layer with face lifting. So if you need to work with color on such an image, you can go to the Retouch for Me Color Match plugin. So you don't see this plugin in the panel because using the plugins from the panel, it's also for like one-click retouch. But in case of Retouch for Me Color Match, you need to do something here. You need to choose the images. So we have the library of the images, and by choosing between them, the plugin will copy the color grading from the specific image to your image. So this is how it works. Maybe we can use this image, or if you have a LUT library, so you can just go and upload your LUTs. Let me show you how it works. So actually I have some LUTs on my computer, and the best thing about LUTs preview here is that you can see actually how your LUTs file. LUTs comes from the lookup table. It's like unified color presets that you can use not only in the photo software, but actually they came from film and movie editing. So maybe I can choose this LUT for this image. And also you can adjust the LUT blend to your files like this. So you can increase the LUT effect or decrease it. And in the new versions of Retouch Me Color Match, you can tick create LUT layer checkbox like this and click apply. So this way you will get your retouching, you can get your color grading as a layer with the LUT file. So if you're changing something beneath it, you will immediately see all the changes here like this. So before, after. So it is really great to have your color grading as a separate layer. So this is how it works. So here is the image before, and here is the image after. Before, after. Let me check the online chat. I got some more images here. Let's go to the next image. So what we can fix here. So it looks pretty nice to me. Maybe you can just fix some really small imperfections on this image. Maybe I can use Eye Brilliance plugin like this. So using Skin Mask plugin allows you to group your images sorry, your plugins results that work with the skin in a separate group in Photoshop and apply a layer mask to it, skin mask. So using the panel in on-device mode, I'm using my own computer without going to the internet. So this is how it works in a real time. Once again, before and after. If you need to change something, so sometimes Heal plugin removes some moles from the face, and if you need to put it back, you can just go to the separate, to the specific layer. So in our case, the Heal layer deletes the mole here. So I create a layer mask. I'll take black brush. So here is my mole. It is here. So I just click here and I get my mole back. So let me turn off the layers and let's move on. So here is the eye brilliance. Here is the Heal layer, dodge and burn, skin tone, portrait volumes. In case if you need to increase the layer effect, you can just double the layer. So for example, if you need to smooth out the skin more, you can just choose dodge and burn layer and hit Command J or Control J. So this is how it works. And if you need to increase visual volume, you can double the portrait volumes, or you can just increase the opacity and double it, maybe like this. So here is the original image, and here is edited version, before, after. If you think this is too much, you can just delete dodge and burn layer, the second one, and the portrait volumes also. So actually, all you need to do is just choose the plugins that you want to apply to the specific image and click retouch button. This is how it works. All right, let's move on to the next image. So here you can apply fabric plugin and clean backdrop and maybe mattifier. So I just click retouch button. So the great thing about using the retouch for me panel is that the panel is like the set of actions, and all you need to do is just choose the plugins that you want to apply to the specific image. The panel chooses the correct order for your plugins that you chose. The panel creates separate layers, so I don't need to create separate layers with retouching, and I don't need to manually run each plugin on the specific layers. I don't need to name the layers. So for example, I know this is a clean backdrop layer, and my background retouching is there. So here's the heal and so on. So this is how it works. So here is the before and after. So let me undo changes. So here is the clean backdrop layer. It is designed to work with the solid color backgrounds like a cyclorama or paper background, but in this case I apply this plugin to this image to smooth out the background. So here is the eyes, so eye brilliance, before, after. So here is fabric plugin. So look at this jacket. It still looks natural. You can still see how the fabric goes, and but you don't see all these small imperfections here, the different look, right? Let's go to the skin folder. So let me zoom in the face. So here is the heal plugin, before and after, some small imperfections. Here is mattifier. So if you are using Retouch Me Mattifier, it is really popular plugin, and just be careful not to over matte the face, because when you look at the person, all those highlights on the face allows you to see your image in 3D dimension, and without highlights on the face looks more flat, and in this case you can just decrease the opacity of the mattifier layer like this. But sometimes when you're shooting people in the club and on the events, or shooting people with a flashlight like during the hot sunny day. So it is better to use mattifier plugin because the and not only the faces but sometimes the body also and have this oily shine look. You can use mattifier plugin on your images. So here is dodge and burn, skin tone, portrait volumes, and here is the final result. Let me zoom out before and after. So this is how it works. So let's move on to the next image. So it looks like this image was shot in the building with a glass roof or something. It looks too cold to me, and you have some cold reflections on the face. So I also choose white text plugin here, and I vessels also, and I click retouch button. So this is how it works. Let me check the webinar chat. So we have a chat here, guys. You can type your questions there so I can uh, answer them while retouching.
I think while we are still waiting, let's maybe answer the question regarding the difference between cloud and local retouching, because Jim was just asking regarding the panel, because the panel is free, but then how do you use it? Do you pay for each tool or it's a different system?
So the way you're using the panel depends on which tools you use. So if you're using the panel with your local plugins on your computer, you can use the panel in on-device mode. So using this mode, you have to buy each plugin separately. And in the panel, you can just tick the checkbox of the plugin that you want to apply to the specific image. But if you want to retouch your images in the cloud without using your computer and pay only per retouch, you can use cloud retouch panel in the cloud retouch, sorry, cloud retouch tab in the panel, and you can buy subscription or you can buy cloud retouching packs. So here you need to log into your account. So here is my count of retouches. And no matter how many plugins you choose here, you can pay only per one retouch. So as soon as you click this retouch button, you'll spend one retouching credit.
All right, thank you. Yeah, there are two ways. You either can use it without the internet if you buy each plugin separately, or you can use generations or credits that you can purchase every month, or you just buy the packs. And now in the chat, there is a link, so you can use it to get 20% off on any products or packs.
Let me show you the retouching results. Let me zoom in. So eye vessels plugin removes blood vessels from the eyes. So here is the before image and here is after. Eye brilliance make your eyes pop up. White teeth plugin works with the teeth, and the skin plugins work with the skin. So here is the heel. Here is dodge and burn, skin tone. Just look at this. Here's the before image, before skin tone. You can see some um, really cold reflections on the face. So here is after. Here is portrait volumes. So in this case, if you need to change something, for example, on this image, we have some mole here. Probably this one is a mole. Not sure about this one. Probably maybe. But so this spot looks to me like blemish or some acne. So sometimes people ask us why plugin removes the moles, but in some cases it is really hard to understand which is this the mole or the acne, even for the human, even for me. All right, so I just choose the heal plugin, create a layer mask, take the brush tool, black brush, and just click on the mole here. One and two. So I've returned two moles on the face, before, after. So this image is too cold and too, let's say, gray to me. So I will merge layers together, or maybe I can just choose the background and run retouch for me color mesh plugin. So here I'm going to choose the look from here, maybe this one. And actually, this plugin allows you to copy the color grading from one image to another. And in this case, you can just choose your own files from your computer. So you can just download any images or movie frames from the internet and apply them. So here is the original file after version, and here is my. So also you can adjust the skin tone. The luminance slider allows you to copy from your reference image the luminance component, like brightness and contrast. The color allows you to copy the color from your reference. So if I move it all the way to the left, I will get my original color here. And also you can smooth out your result if you have some color transitions and so on. So here's my pre-saved files on my computer, but you can also run the files from the plugin. So we have 9 of them, and maybe I will choose this result. So in color match, you can tick create LUT layer, checkbox here, apply, and you will get your retouching results as separate layer. So in this case, it is right below the retouched layer. So I just go and move it here right to the top like this. So it is really great to have your color grading as a adjustment layer. Why? Because using it, you can choose anything below it. If you need to increase visual volume, you can just double the portrait volumes layer like this. If you need to change something, you can go here and change, and you will see all the changes. So it's like a photo filter applied to the whole retouching structure. And if you need to change something here, you can just delete it and create new adjustment layer. Or you can just create the couple of layers and you can switch between them. So how cool is that? So this is how basically the plugins work. So let's move on to other image. I need to move the zoom panel somewhere. So here's the next image. So actually, if you need to create action out of our plugins, you need to run them to record it from the filter, retouch for me, from the filter menu, but you don't need to run the plugins from the panel because the panel works like the set of actions. And if you create your own action based on the panel, sometimes it goes wrong with your images. So you will get unpredictable results. So it is better to run the panels of the plugins one by one from the filter panel if you need to record an action. So I just choose the plugins that I want to apply to the specific image and click retouch button and wait. So I'm using MacBook Pro with M1 processor. So this is how it works in real time on real images. All right. So before, after. Once again, if you need to change something, let's go from one layer to another. So here is before. Just look at the eye vessels, eye brilliance. Maybe I can just decrease the opacity of eye brilliance layer like this. It is a white teeth layer before, after. And let's move on to the skin heal mattifier. So as I said before, be careful with the mattifier plugin, just decrease the opacity, maybe like this, before, after. Touch and burn, skin tone. And in this case, the skin tone plugin affects the face, and you have some really red cheeks here, and I want to keep it. So I will not, maybe I just mask the cheeks here. So I create a layer mask. I'll take the black brush and just move it all over the face like this. So this is how I get my red cheeks and the portrait volumes. Let's merge all layers together and run retouch for me face make. So to merge all layers together, click Option Command Shift E or Alt Control Shift E. If you're a PC user, go to the filter, retouch for me face make. All right, so what can you do here? You can apply face lifting, feminine lifting, just hair volume like this, just lips effect, nose effect. So here is the before, and maybe let's do it like this. So let's go to the makeup. What about eyes? I've got smoky veil here like this. Maybe we can change it to something else. You can also adjust the depth, the opacity, and let's leave it like this. I click apply here. Here is the image that I got. Here is the before version and after. Before, after. So let me zoom in because people really care about the skin texture, about all these small details. So is it, they usually ask, is it still look natural? The answer is yes. It looks like the group of professional retouchers worked on this image, but this is all AI. So this is how it works. Now let me check the webinar chat. Can you talk about the mobile retouch? So we have a mobile app which is called 3D LUT Mobile 2, and there you have the opportunity to retouch also images and grade them using our LUT library. Also, you can apply LUTs in this app to your videos on your mobile phones. So this is how it works. Let's move on to the winter images like this, maybe like this. So here we have some red ears, red nose. We need to do something with it. So here I just apply the Heal, Dodge and Burn, Portrait Volume, Skin Tone plugin and click Retouch and Skin Mask. So if the weather is windy, you also get some red nose and red ears. So here, I think it is too much, so I just decrease the opacity. So the color of the ears and the nose is slightly different on the face. So before and after, look at these small blemishes, before and after, and the skin tone. So this is how it works. Great, right? Maybe we can go to the some, or maybe this one, yes. Let's also apply, so this is to studio shot. Let's apply heal, maybe dash burn. I don't need to apply mattifier here. Maybe white teeth, maybe eye vessels also. So I just click retouch button here and wait. So every our plugin can work in Photoshop or as a standalone app. So if you don't have a Photoshop, you can run the plugins, but in this case, you have to run them one by one if you want to apply different plugins to the one image. Or you can use our cloud-based app, which is called Retouch for Me Apex. It also can work as a plugin in Photoshop, but in this case, you will get 11 tools in one great interface and retouch your images in the cloud using not only retouching, but also the lifting. So here is the before and after. Once again, maybe we can these small here. So I just go to the heal layer, create a layer mask. Took the brush tool, click, and that's all. So let me create, so merged all layers together and run retouch for me face make to this image. So before, after. So this is my settings from the previous one. Maybe I can just increase face lifting here, like this, I think. before, after. Click apply. Here is the image that I get. So this is how it works. Let me zoom in to check the details here. So this is how it works. And I have an example of the dark skin here. So just imagine how much time you would spend on such image, retouching all these small blemishes on the skin. So I just go to the Retouch Me Photoshop panel, choose here Heal, Portrait, Volumes, Dutch Burn, Skin Tone, Skin Mask. I think that's all. Just click Retouch and wait. Before and after. So this is how it works. Looks really natural without any artifacts. One click result. All right. Let me check the webinar chat for the questions. All right, let's move on to other images. I got the image from Cassie Almeida, I think. Let me just open it. All right. So some Christmas shot. Let me set all to the default settings. As you can see it in your camera, temperature as shot. So here I made the image more warm, like this. So also I just decrease the exposure here, decrease the highlights slightly. I also increase the shadows, maybe like this, and increase whites here, like this. Maybe slightly add exposure. So here is my shot. Let's open it in Photoshop. All right, so let's move on to the Retouch for Me Photoshop panel. Choose the plugins that I want to apply. Whiteys, eye vessels, brilliance, maybe fabric also. Click Retouch button and let's wait. So this is pretty detailed shot. It's 5,500 by 8,000 megapixels. So the more resolution you have, the longer it takes to retouch your image. So it is obvious, I think. But let's wait. It is going on. Let me check the webinar chat. The retouching is done. So before and after. Also check the moles on the face. I think it needs to be here. Let me just create a layer mask and click it. All right. So here is the whole image. Let me zoom out before and after. And let me zoom in. It's 100% zoom now. So here is the before and after. Before, after, before, after, before, after. So this is how it works. Just one click and you get the result. Also, you can apply some color grading here. Let me go to the color match plugin. You can choose something suitable. You can adjust the color grading here, the luminance, skin tone effect, like this. So before, after, before, after. Maybe you can choose some other image for this. Or maybe we can choose the color LUT. Why not? So the great thing about this app is that you can actually see the LUT results as a thumbnail preview here. So before, after, before, after, like this. Let's move it to the top. So here is the original image, original and retouched version. Okay, let's move on to other image sent to us. So there is a lot of small pimples here. Okay, so in this case, you need to run heal plugin, maybe Dutch burn, skin tone, eye vessels, yes, white teeth. I don't have a teeth here. So what about the fabric? Yes, let's run the fabric and leave the skin mask also. Just click retouch button and wait. I think I see this is also really detailed shot. It is almost 9,000 pixels by 11 and a half. Okay, let's wait. But actually, the more megapixels your camera have, the more details you have to fix after the photo shoot. And in this case, there are lots of small pimples on the face. And if you prepare for your clients the full resolution images, the clients actually zoom really close to see all these small imperfections. So this is why you need to work with all these details before photo shoot. If you have some dust on the clothes, you need to fix it before the photo shoot. So, but what to do with the face? You need to fix it later. So if you need to create your own Photoshop action, or you need to run the same plugin with different settings on the image, it is better to run and the plugins from the filter menu without running on the panel. So this is the resulted image before, after. Let me zoom in. So as for the skin tone plugin, so in this case, I really like these red cheeks here. So I just create a layer mask, took a black brush and paint over the cheeks. Because if I just turn off this layer, I will get red nose here. You see, here is the original image and the after version. So I like red cheeks, but not red nose. Let me zoom out. Once again, before, after. Maybe just slightly decrease the eye brilliance like this. And let's merge all layers together and run retouch from your face make. Reshape. Let's change the nose here. Right. Too much. Maybe can change it something like this. So before, after. Let's change the feminine lifting before, after. So in this case, it works pretty hard. I maybe just decrease the lifting here because the chin here on the original image is really small. So this is the image before and this is after. Before, after. Maybe we can just increase some lips here. So what about the makeup? You can also add something here to your taste, maybe something like this. So here is the image, click apply, and this is what you get. So really high resolution image. So this is how it works. Now let me check the webinar chat. So Matthew asks, is there a Lightroom plugin? So you can use our plugins in Lightroom as a external image editor. So you can just hit the right click on the file in the Lightroom and choose edit with and choose the plugin. But if you are working with the desktop versions, so with the local plugins, you have to run on your Lightroom files them one by one. This is not convenient sometimes. So I think in that case, it is better to run Retouch for Me Apex. So it's our cloud-based plugin, and also you can run it as a standalone app. And if you're working with the Lightroom, you can just use this plugin or like a standalone app. Right click on your files in the Lightroom and choose Retouch, choose Edit With, and then choose Retouch for Me Apex. So using Retouch for Me Apex, you will get the interface where you can apply 11 tools at once. And the great thing about Retouch for Me Apex is that you can pay only per retouching. And as soon as you get the retouched version, you can just click the checkbox next to the tool and immediately see the results before you save it. So you can see how it works. Whiteys, skin tone, brilliance, vessels. So actually you can choose every plugins here at the same time. So this is how it works. So if you're using Retouch Me Apex in Photoshop, you can get layers. So the previous versions didn't have such opportunities, but here I can just click create layers and click apply. As for the Lightroom, you can just apply all corrections here, and then after you close the Retouch Me Apex, Lightroom updates the preview of the copy of original raw file right in the Lightroom. So this is how you can apply our tools in other apps. So after, let me zoom in, just to show you the original skin texture, original file. So this is how it works. Really great without over retouching the images. And also I've got example also with the dark skin. I think the exposure here is pretty nice. Just let's leave it as is. A slightly blurred image here, but I think it's okay. So how can we edit this image? So I just choose Heal plugin, Dodge and Burn, Portrait Volume, Skin Tone, Vessels, maybe, Eye Brilliance, White Teeth. This here is really white, so I don't need to use white teeth here. Skin Mask and the Fabric. And I think that's all. Let's click Retouch button and wait. So there are lots of questions about the dark skin, about the black and white images. So yes, our plugins work with the dark skin also. You can run them on black and white images. You can run Heal, Dodge and Burn plugin, portrait volumes, and also if you need to clean your studio backgrounds, you can run Clean Backdrop plugin. But I don't have some files sent from the users to me, but I got my own examples. So if you need to, I can show how Clean Backdrop cleans the studio backgrounds before, after. So this is how the skin tone plugin works. Look at the nose, the color of the nose. Works really great. Look at the gloves before and after. It still looks natural, right? Without any over retouched look. It looks more like nicer, more fancier look, right? Before, after. So maybe you can run face make plugin on this man, because using face make you can apply this plugin to the male portraits also. And in this case, you can increase masculine lifting like this. We don't need to lips effect here, nose effect, eyes effect. We don't have a hairs here. It looks like this. Just compare before and after. This is the image before, and this is the, it's much younger, nicer, right? So I just click apply here, and it is the final result, original file, final result. So this is how it works. So yes, I have a questions about dust removal. We have a specific plugin which is called Retouch for Me Dust. You can also run it from the panel if you need to remove some dust or maybe some small imperfections on the skin. Maybe I can show you some examples. So let me find them. Images with the dust. I cannot find them actually, but you can try it on your own photos. So let me show you how you can run the same plugin with different settings. So here is the portrait of the man, and you see lots of small imperfections on the skin, and you need to do something with it. And if you run the heal plugin with different settings, for example, if I create a copy of the layer, maybe I run it from the panel, it will be faster. So first I will run it for the for the full length portrait, let's say. Let's run it. Then I create the copy of this, merged all layers together here. Run the heal plugin with the half length portrait like this. Create one more, merged all layers together and run the plugin uh, as a close-up portrait like this. So in this way, I will get different retouching results. But in this case, I remove all small imperfections from the body here. So before and after. So if you need to create such an action, you can do it. And I made it, called this fine retouch. So I just run it, and this action creates separate layers with my file and run the heal plugin with different settings on each layer. So this is how it works with one click, before and after. Before and after. And maybe the last example will be with the background, maybe this one. So we have a studio background. We need to do something with it. We need to fix it, clean it, or actually usually people just select the main subject and blur the background. This is not good if you need to get all these shadows on the floor. So I just click clean backdrop plugin here. So this bright little small play icon next to the plugin's name. And here is the retouching results, before and after. This is one of my favorite plugins, clean backdrop. This is how it works. If you zoom in, you'll still see some really like aerials from the dust and dirt on the studio background, but it is really so. This plugin doesn't replace the original background. It actually works with the color and brightness, and it actually retouched the original version. So you can get the same structure here, the same noise pattern, but it looks like you shoot people on a really white, perfectly clean background. This is how it works. So in case if you need to retouch several images, so in the panel we have batch retouching. Also, you can run batch retouching in the cloud retouch tab from the panel. We also have this opportunity. Or you can create your own Photoshop actions based on our plugins and run Photoshop action on the whole folder with your files. So this is how you can do batch processing of your files. Okay, let me check the webinar chat. Yep, thank you, Dinara, for the answers. Yes, dust can remove some skin flakes. Maybe I can just find the example of this. Some skin flakes, something like this. So if you have like too dry skin, so sometimes it happens on the really small babies, but sometimes not. And here you can run the dust plugin to remove all these small skin, peeled skin on the face, white ones. So dust works with a really detailed version of your image, so it takes time to run. It takes time to process your image. But let's wait. One more questions about the difference cloud-based plugins and the local ones. So for the cloud-based, yes, you can just pay per retouch. You can buy subscription, or you can buy cloud retouching packs and retouch plugin and retouch images in the cloud. As for the on-device plugins, you can just buy them separately, buy only the only plugins you need and run them on your own computer without any restrictions. Run them on multiple files. So here is the image, resulted image, before and after. Look at this small peeled skin. So they also need to be fixed before, after. So this is how it works. I think this is all for today. We spent more than 1 hour, guys.
All right. Yep. Great. Thank you so much, Vitaly. I think today was quite useful. I saw some comments in the chat that the webinar was helpful and they found out something new for themselves. So, yeah. I can see we have no questions in the chat. So, just want to make sure that you guys understand that tomorrow we'll send you the recording on your email and we'll publish it on YouTube. So stay tuned, as well as the special promo code that you can use to get 20% off on any Retouch for Me products. Either it's cloud retouching packs or the licensed perpetual plugins. So, and I saw there was a question from Laura regarding the pricing. And I'd say in general, if it's a subscription, right, you can pay from $20 a month for a specific number of retouches that you would do. And when it comes to the plugins, it's going to be pay per plugin. So around $100. But now we run a huge discount because of New Year's and all that. Plus you have webinar discount, so it can be way cheaper than that. So you can see what fits best your workflow if you want to own it or you want to stick to subscription and yeah, enjoy whatever works for you best. And the promo code will be valid till end of January, so you still have time. But before New Year's, right, we are running now the Christmas sale, and that will finish soon. So in total, with all of the promo codes, you get 35% off. So make sure you make use of it before the new year. If not, then you'll just have the 20% off with the webinar discount. All right. Thank you so much, Vitali. And see you guys soon in the
Yes,
new
thank
year.
you. Thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you, Dinara, for the webinar and helping us.
Yeah,
I
we'll
think
see you
this
soon.
webinar will help you guys to create more awesome images without retouching routine.
Definitely. And
Yeah,
if you
thanks,
have
guys.
any more questions, please text us on any social media. We're always live on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. So, and our support is on the website as well. So reach out anytime and share your questions. We'll try to help.
Yeah, see you soon next year. So webinar is the last in this year. So happy holidays, guys.